Yes, officer, my husband just destroyed my $80,000 Camaro. I saw him do it with my own eyes. Those were the words Jessica Jackson spoke into her phone that Thursday evening, tears streaming down her face as red and blue lights approached our driveway. She had no idea that the police dashcam had been recording for the last 10 minutes, capturing every second of the truth she was desperately trying to bury. What happened next exposed not just vandalism, but an elaborate insurance fraud scheme that would unravel 6 years of marriage in 90 minutes. Viewers, have you ever given someone the perfect gift only to watch them weaponize it against you? How far would you go to uncover the truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Before you continue, please subscribe, like and watch till the ending to share this interesting story. My name is Roberto Jackson, and I'm about to tell you how a police dashcam saved my life. I'm 34 years old, a senior software engineer pulling in $140,000 a year at a tech startup here in Austin, Texas. 6 years married to Jessica, or at least I thought I knew who Jessica was. We met at a conference, one of those corporate networking things where everyone's pretending to care about PowerPoint presentations while secretly checking their phones. She was different though, magnetic in a way that made me forget about the buffet line. Within a year we were married. No kids yet, but we talked about it. I worked from home most days, which meant I saw everything. Everything she wanted me to see anyway. But let me take you back 3 months before the night those red and blue lights pulled into my driveway. 3 months before my wife looked a police officer in the eyes and told him I'd destroyed the most expensive gift I'd ever given her. See, I'd bought Jessica an $80,000 Camaro for our anniversary, midnight blue, custom racing stripes, the exact one she'd been obsessing over for 2 years. I liquidated crypto investments she didn't know about, money I'd been saving for something special. The look on her face when she saw it sitting in our driveway made every sacrifice worth it. Or so I thought. What I didn't know was that car would become the centerpiece of the most elaborate betrayal I'd ever experienced. My father abandoned our family when I was 15, disappeared with embezzled money and a second family we never knew existed. I promised myself I'd never be like him. I'd be loyal, present, honest. Turns out, I married someone who'd learned his playbook perfectly. The morning I gave Jessica that Camaro, I blindfolded her like some rom-com cliché and walked her outside. August heat already pressing down on us. Cicadas screaming in the oak trees lining our street. When I removed the blindfold and she saw that midnight blue beast sitting there with a ridiculous red bow across the hood, she actually screamed. Tears everywhere, mascara running, jumping into my arms like I'd just handed her the keys to heaven itself. Roberto, how did you? We can't afford this, she gasped between sobs. I kissed her forehead, tasting salt. I've been planning this for 2 years, baby. You deserve it. What I didn't tell her was I'd turned down Google 3 years earlier. They'd offered me $220,000 in San Francisco, but she'd just made partner at Henderson and Associates after brutal months of 80-hour weeks. I held her the night before her final presentation while she cried into my chest, convinced she'd fail. So when Google called, I said no. Chose her career. Chose us. She never knew. The Camaro became her obsession. Instagram posts every other day, Sunday morning detailing sessions with Q-tips and microfiber cloths, weekend car meets where she'd park it front and center. I loved watching her happy. That's all I ever wanted. But 6 weeks after the gift, something shifted. She started coming home at 9, sometimes 10 at night. Cartwright account, she'd mumble, eyes glued to her phone. Then came the Saturdays. Advanced driving sessions at Circuit of the Americas, she claimed. 8 in the morning until 6 at night. You should come next time, she'd offer without looking up. We both knew I wouldn't. I should have known then. Should have trusted that sick feeling twisting in my gut. Please don't forget to subscribe as you continue. One Tuesday evening, I decided to surprise her with dinner. She'd mentioned working late, so I ordered from Mandola's, her favorite Italian place, and drove downtown with chicken marsala still warm in the passenger seat. I parked in her building's garage around 7:30, carrying food like some devoted puppy. Her assigned spot was empty. The Camaro wasn't there. I called her immediately, heart already hammering. Hey baby, where are you? Her voice came back breathless, slightly off. At the office, why? I looked at the empty concrete space, at the 30 other vacant spots surrounding me. Your car's not here. The pause that followed felt like falling. Oh, I parked on the street. Garage was full this morning. I could see the entrance from where I stood. It wasn't full. Had never been full at 7:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. That was her first lie I caught. Or maybe just the first one I couldn't ignore anymore. I drove home, food untouched, and did something I'm not proud of. I checked our phone records through our shared Verizon account. Dozens of calls to a number I didn't recognize. Some lasting 40 minutes, usually during her lunch breaks. Then I checked our credit card statements, the ones she handled because I'd been too trusting, too busy with work to notice. Charges at places she'd never mentioned. A hotel in Round Rock. Twice. My hands were shaking so badly I had to set my laptop down. I thought about my mother, about how she'd looked when she found out about my father's other family. That hollow-eyed expression like someone had scooped out everything vital inside her. I'd sworn I'd never put anyone through that. Never be on either side of that equation. But here I was anyway. The next Saturday I followed her. I'm not proud of it, but that gnawing feeling in my chest wouldn't let me sleep, wouldn't let me focus on anything else. She left at 8:15 in the morning, and I was 3 cars behind her by 8:17. She didn't go to Circuit of the Americas. Instead, she drove 45 minutes north to a place called Apex Performance, some automotive shop I'd never heard of. I parked down the street, watching through binoculars I'd bought from Academy Sports that morning, hands sweating against the rubber grip. A man came out to meet her. Tall, covered in tattoos, wearing a racing jacket that looked expensive. They hugged. Not the friendly kind. The lingering kind that makes your stomach drop. I spent that entire day in my car watching them work on her Camaro, watching them laugh, watching her touch his arm in ways she hadn't touched mine in months. That night I couldn't help myself. I went deep into Instagram, scrolling through her tagged photos, her followers, looking for anything. That's when I found him. Marcus Cole. 36 years old. Professional driver turned shop owner. Apex Performance was his business. And the rabbit hole went deeper. Through mutual friends' old posts, I found their history. They'd been engaged 7 years ago, before she met me. He was broke then, unstable, constantly traveling for races. Her parents had given her an ultimatum, him or her trust fund, $250,000 waiting when she turned 30. She'd chosen the money. Chosen stability. 6 months later, she met me at that conference. I was safe. Reliable. Everything Marcus wasn't. But looking at those photos of them together, young and reckless and free, I realized something that made my chest tighten. I was never her first choice. I was her consolation prize. Please don't forget to subscribe as you continue. I bought a voice-activated recording device from a spy shop in South Austin. The kid behind the counter didn't ask questions, just showed me how to hide it, how to access the files remotely. It was small enough to fit under the driver's seat of Jessica's Camaro without her noticing. I placed it there early Saturday morning while she was in the shower, my hands trembling so badly I almost dropped it twice. Then I went to grab coffee like nothing was wrong, kissed her goodbye, told her to have fun. She left at 8:15. I was behind her again, this familiar routine becoming my new nightmare. She went straight to Marcus. Same greeting. Same kiss that felt like a knife between my ribs. They went inside the shop and I sat in that parking lot for 4 hours, listening through headphones to audio that destroyed me. God, I've missed this. Missed you, Jessica's voice, breathless and excited in ways I hadn't heard in years. Marcus responded, 6 years is a long time, Jess. I still can't believe you're back in my life. Then came the words that ended everything. I never stopped thinking about you. Roberto's nice. Safe. But he's not you. I wanted to stop listening. Wanted to rip the headphones off and drive away. But I couldn't. Marcus asked if I knew about them. Jessica said no. Said she was figuring out how to leave me, but it was complicated because I'd bought her that car. If I leave now, it looks like I used him. Marcus's response was quiet but clear. Didn't you? The silence that followed told me everything. She'd used me. The entire marriage, the partnership I'd sacrificed Google for, the future I'd imagined with her, all of it was built on a foundation of settling. I was the safety net she'd climbed into while dreaming of someone else. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I contacted a divorce attorney at 2 in the morning through an encrypted video call. David Chin specialized in high-net-worth divorces where infidelity was involved, and his face on the screen looked tired but focused. Texas is community property, he explained, but infidelity can influence asset division if you prove it. That recording helps, but you need more. Documented patterns. Financial evidence. I told him I had time. He leaned forward into his camera. Then use it wisely. Don't let her know you know. Over the next 3 days, I became someone I didn't recognize. I dug through our financial accounts and found transfers I'd never noticed. Jessica had been sending Marcus money. Small amounts at first, labeled as marketing expenses or client dinners. But in the last month, she'd sent him $15,000 in 3 separate transfers. Cross-referencing public records, I discovered Apex Performance was 3 months behind on rent, facing eviction. My wife was funding her lover's failing business with our money. I transferred $90,000 from our savings into a protected account. Backed up every shady transaction she'd made. Downloaded her text messages through our shared iCloud. Then I did something that felt like acid in my throat. I came home Tuesday evening with flowers and a smile. "Hey babe, I was thinking we should take a trip. Just us. Maybe Cabo." Her face lit up, but I saw something flicker behind her eyes. Guilt maybe. Fear. That sounds amazing. When? Her hand moved to her phone immediately after she kissed me. Texting him probably. That night, while she slept beside me, I looked at our wedding photo on the nightstand. Young and hopeful and stupid. I turned it face down. Please don't forget to subscribe as you continue. 2 weeks after I gathered my evidence, I set the final piece in motion. I called in sick Wednesday morning, told my team I had food poisoning. Then I texted Jessica around noon. "Hey babe, flying to San Francisco tonight for emergency client meeting. Last minute thing. Won't be back until Friday. Love you." Her response came 30 seconds later. "Oh no. Well, good luck honey. Kill it." Followed by a red heart emoji. I checked into a Holiday Inn 2 miles from our house and waited. Around 8 that evening I drove past our place. Jessica's Camaro sat in the driveway, but there was another car beside it. A black Dodge Challenger with Apex Performance decals screaming down the side. Marcus was inside my house. In the home I'd bought, on the furniture I'd paid for, probably drinking the bourbon I kept in the cabinet above the fridge. I didn't confront them. Instead, I went back to the hotel and refined my plan. Because if Jessica was going to burn our marriage down, she wasn't going to do it on her terms anymore. Thursday evening came like any other. I was in my home office around 7 when Jessica's car alarm started blaring outside. I walked out to find her standing beside the Camaro, phone pressed to her ear, her face twisted in rage that looked rehearsed. "Yes, officer, I need to report vandalism. My husband just keyed my car." My stomach dropped through the concrete. "What? Jessica, what are you talking about?" She held up her hand to silence me, voice shaking with theatrical emotion. "Yes, he's here now. Roberto Jackson. We're at 4782 Meadowbrook Drive. Please hurry." I looked at the Camaro. Deep scratches ran down the entire driver's side. Fresh ones. Deliberate. "Jessica, I didn't touch your car. I've been inside working for 3 hours." My voice sounded distant, like someone else was using my mouth. She turned to me with tears streaming down her face, real ones, the kind that could convince anyone. "Liar. I saw you. I saw you walk out here with your keys." Everything clicked into place then. The overinsurance she'd gotten on the Camaro, claiming custom modifications that didn't exist. The policy she'd shown me months ago, proud that she'd gotten such good coverage. $120,000 for an $80,000 car. This was their endgame. Frame me for domestic vandalism, file for divorce citing abuse and destruction of property, collect the insurance money, and disappear to California together. Marcus would get his shop money. She'd get her freedom. I'd get destroyed, my reputation shredded, possibly facing charges. It was elegant, really. Sociopathic but elegant. Red and blue lights splashed across our house. An APD patrol car pulled up, and a tall officer stepped out, his expression neutral but watchful. "Ma'am, sir, let's everybody take a breath." His nameplate read Mitchell. He approached us with the measured calm of someone who'd seen every variation of domestic dispute imaginable. Jessica launched into her performance immediately. How she'd been inside, heard something, looked out the window and saw me beside her car with my keys in hand. How we'd been fighting about money for months. How I'd been jealous of her success, her car, her independence. She was crying, gesturing, the perfect victim. I stood there watching my wife lie to a police officer with the confidence of someone who'd rehearsed every word. Officer Mitchell listened, then turned to me. "Sir, is that what happened?" "No, sir. I haven't been near that car since this morning." Please don't forget to subscribe as you continue. Officer Mitchell looked at both of us, then at the car, then back toward his patrol vehicle. Something shifted in his expression. "Okay, here's what we're going to do. My dashcam has been recording since I pulled up. But before that, I was parked across the street for about 10 minutes doing paperwork." Jessica's face went chalk white. "Ma'am, if your husband keyed your car and you saw it happen, that means it occurred in the last 30 minutes, correct?" Her voice came out as a whisper. "Yes." "Then my dashcam will show it." We walked to his patrol car. He opened his laptop, pulled up the footage, rewound it to 6:35. The screen showed our driveway in grainy green-tinted detail. At 6:47, a black Dodge Challenger pulled up on the street. A man got out, looked around, walked to Jessica's Camaro. For 1 minute and 37 seconds, he methodically keyed the entire driver's side. Then he calmly returned to his car and drove away. At 6:52, Jessica emerged from our house, looked at the damage, looked at our security camera she turned off earlier, then pulled out her phone. Officer Mitchell turned to Jessica with profound disappointment etched across his face. "Ma'am, I need you to explain what I just watched." What followed was 90 minutes of unraveling. Jessica tried claiming she didn't know Marcus. That lasted until Mitchell mentioned running the Challenger's plates. Then she admitted knowing him professionally. That lasted until he mentioned subpoenaing phone records. Finally she broke. Admitted everything. The affair, the plan, the insurance fraud. I showed Mitchell my recordings, the financial transfers, the text messages. He read Jessica her Miranda rights while I stood there feeling absolutely nothing. She was arrested, issued a citation, released. She packed a bag and left. I sat alone in our house surrounded by the wreckage of 6 years. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my downtown Austin loft, unpacking the last boxes. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city, and for the first time in years I can breathe. The divorce finalized last month. Jessica pleaded no contest, paid her fines, completed community service. The DA declined insurance fraud charges since no payout occurred. She lost her job when the arrest report went viral. Turns out, having your mugshot on local news destroys marketing careers. The Camaro got impounded as evidence, then released. She couldn't afford it without my income, sold it for $62,000. Per our settlement, she paid me back $40,000. Marcus's shop went under once word spread. His reputation in Austin's automotive community was shredded. Last I heard, he moved back to California alone. Jessica didn't follow. People ask if I regret buying that car. Honest answer? No. Because that Camaro revealed who Jessica really was. It exposed everything. And while that knowledge devastated me, it also liberated me. I'm in therapy now, working through trust issues, the echo of my father's abandonment patterns I'd sworn to break. Google called again. This time offering $250,000 to work remotely from Austin. I accepted. I've been on a few dates. Nothing serious. Learning to trust again is like relearning to walk after surgery. Slow. Painful. But I'm trying. The dashcam I installed in my own car after everything? Always recording now. Maybe that's paranoid. Maybe that's survival. I'm still figuring out which. If there's anything I learned, it's that gifts given in love reveal truth, beautiful or devastating. That Camaro was meant to symbolize my love. Instead, it became the instrument of destruction and, paradoxically, my salvation. Officer Mitchell's dashcam didn't just record vandalism. It recorded the end of my marriage and the beginning of my real life. One built on truth instead of illusion. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share for more interesting stories.